State of Mind, episode 106. I am your host, Snipes KB, with the one and only Tebow. What's good, bruh?
Got two players from rival teams, man. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And let me introduce our guest. The first guest, this is his first time on the podcast. I actually know him through our fantasy football leagues, and he has won a couple of leagues. He has stung me in many playoff games or games to go to the playoffs. Uh, let me introduce to the podcast for the first time. Casey, what's good, man?
Hey man, thanks Daniel. I appreciate you having me on here, man. I've been wanting to get on this podcast now for about 5 years, so it's
Yeah.
glad to finally everything came together. And now that I'm on here and getting a chance to be on here, man, I appreciate the opportunity. Definitely representing the 12s. Somebody's got to speak on the Seahawks behalf and make sure that y'all know what's going on and how we're going to take care of business this year.
Okay. All right. And this other guest, I had him on a podcast. Actually, like that podcast was really like that one with Sonny. That was the time when he came on and he was the one who told me that Kobe died. Like it was like minutes before we actually recorded. I was in Ethiopia at the time and he said Kobe died. I'm like, Kobe who? Like, and he was like Kobe Bryant. I was like, what? So we had to like it was right as I was about to push record. So RIP to Kobe, of course, but also I like to welcome back to the podcast Sonny. What's good, man?
Man, I'm glad to be on, man. When you get an invite on a podcast, that means somebody thought you were an asset and valuable.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to, be back to just talk sports with guys. So, that's what we do. And to talk about my Niners and to talk about any other topics we have. So I'm so glad to be back, man.
Okay. And since you guys are watching us on YouTube, everything as far as where to follow us is on the bottom of the screen. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Casey, we're going to go back to you. Since this is your first time, for every first guest that comes on, we have 3 questions for them. What sports do you play? What teams do you like? And explain why you are a fan of those teams.
All right. So I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm a Miami Heat fan in basketball. I know I'm all over the globe in terms of my fandom, but those are the two main sports I play as well as basketball and football. Just growing up, at the age of 12 is pretty much when I stopped flip flopping from teams, and I was like, "This is my squad, and I'm gonna stick with it." And I became a Seahawks fan. Watching Sean Springs
Mm.
play in high
Yeah.
school up at Springbrook. That's kind of where it started. I was a huge Ricky Waters fan.
Mm.
So everything kind of just came together in terms of being a Ricky Waters fan. And then Sean Springs, it was just like, yo, this is my squad. I'm sticking with it. And it just kind of went from there, man. And just been a Seahawks fan ever since. And no regrets. I love it because, the few times that I do get a chance to meet a Seahawks fans, we have like a bond in the community. So, I have another friend that's a Seahawks fan. He's been a Seahawks fan since, man, probably like 80 something. And he's only like 10 years older. So, we can, talk throughout these last 15, 20 years. We met through a mutual ex. But anyway, love to be a Seahawks fan. Heat fan. So I became a Heat fan. I was a huge Alonzo Mourning fan growing up. So, I thought I was going to be like a 5 foot, whatever post player. You know what I mean? I always like the back to the basket game. So, growing up, cats would be like, man, he's like Mark Jackson / Gary Payton. Cause, I'll be, backing down cats, pretty much from the half court line. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter if you were 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". I would still take you in a post and I had post moves. So, that was always, a fun kind of time. So same thing with Zoe, man. Watched him play with the Hornets. And then once he got traded to Miami, I stuck with it. And I was like, the Heat's my squad. Tim Hardaway, loved it. The excitement going through, competing against the Bulls throughout the 90s, hating Jordan with a passion. And, never liking the quote-unquote GOAT. So it was a tough, 3 or 4 years when LeBron came over because, that was like a competing interest, but I did love it and enjoy it because I was
Yeah,
like, everybody, the villain role. So man, I mean, just embrace
Yeah.
being a Heat fan for, sheesh, man. Now, what is it, like 27 years we're going on now? 26,
yeah,
27 years. So Heat, yeah, just chose off, and that's what I kind of give that same type of grace to anybody who's a fan. I'm like, what team? How long you been a fan of them? And picking a team at like 12, I'm like, it's teenager age, and you kind of stop and just say, yo, this is who I'm
yeah,
rocking with. So
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, definitely know that you
Okay.
was hyped about your Heat this year going to
Oh,
the NBA
absolutely,
Finals.
man.
Like that was a hell of a
Absolutely.
run. Hopefully, you guys can get Dame. I know there's
Oh, hopefully I can
rumors.
get on there to talk about that. Go ahead. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So, also, okay. So, since you have named the reason why you are a fan of those teams, I have a game called Hi, My Name Is. This right here would test how much of a fan you are. Now,
Okay.
with this team, since today we're talking, NFC West, I kept it within the Seattle Seahawks point of view. If you already know the answer, please wait until I finish so that way the guests that are listening could at least try to guess this. So here we go. All right. I was drafted in 2008 in the seventh round, 209th pick by the Green Bay Packers after winning a national championship at LSU versus Ohio State. I played in the NFL for about 7 years. The teams that I played for was the Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, Oakland Raiders, Buffalo Bills, back with the Green Bay Packers, and the New Orleans Saints. I've won one Super Bowl, which was with the Packers when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got a big break after I signed a 3-year, $19 million contract back in 2012, but quickly lost my starting job to a third round rookie from Wisconsin. Hi, my name is.
2008. Rookie. Oof. This is a this is a
so
tough one.
so he came
I
from the
knew that
Packers
one.
at the time when you guys signed him. It was a big signing. Um, after he backed up Aaron
Oh, hold on,
Rodgers.
hold on. Yeah, hold on. Don't tell me. I know now. I know now. Golly, jeez, nah. Golly, don't tell me. Oh my gosh, Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn, ding, ding, ding. You got it right, Matt
Yeah.
Flynn.
Yeah, yeah,
That quickly turned quick once once y'all drafted Russell Wilson. It was a
yeah,
wrap. Like it was just like
yeah,
Once I
yeah,
heard that, I
it
knew
was
it.
it was
yeah,
nothing after
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Now the thing that threw me off was then I started thinking about I was like, yo, he said drafted by the Seahawks, and I was like, drafted by the Seahawks seventh round. That kind of threw
No,
me off, but you were like,
Hmm.
so
did
all
I say
right, yeah,
Seahawks
Matt Flynn.
or did I say Packers? If
You
I
may
if I
okay,
said if I said the Seahawks, then I definitely threw you off. But I meant to
yeah.
say he was drafted by the Packers.
Gotcha. No worries, no worries, no worries. I
Okay.
mean, it might be my mess up too, so my fault.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Okay. It's
But
cool. So this is episode 106, and it's only right, Casey, since you are the first time guest to name any athletes that have worn the number 6 from any sport. You can name 1 to 3 or as much as you want.
how far back?
As
How far
hey,
back we talking, or just
All
it
time.
can it can be the
all
first
right?
person to ever wear number 6. That's fine.
All right. Let's go with the probably one of the greatest players to ever wear number six. Let's go with Julius Gervin.
Ah, he's not even,
Oh,
he's not even on my list. I forgot. Okay, yeah.
wow,
Okay. Okay, okay.
Mine.
that's a good hit right there.
Yeah, Dr. J. Dr. J,
Yeah.
do you have any more?
Yes, Christoph Porzingis.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
got
right.
we got Bill Russell.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We got LeBron James, of course.
That's right.
Let's see, number six. Mm, mm. Who else wore number six?
That's
That's all
fine
I
if you're
got
done.
off. That's
Okay.
that's probably all I got off the top of my head. That's all I got off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, Sonny. I know. I mean, if he took any of your players, you can just remix it. Remix it like
Yeah.
Diddy.
That,
Give
no,
me-
six is tough. Wow, six. It's probably easier to go basketball with six. Eddie Jones wore
oh
six,
yeah,
right?
that's right. He did. He did wear
Eddie
number
Jones,
Eddie
six.
yeah,
Jones,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
uh, a
Yeah.
magnificent player. He
Mm-hmm.
just, you got to pick one, and you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
who they had to
yeah.
pick. Mario Chalmers.
Oh yeah, that's
Mario
right.
Chalmers wore six, right?
Yeah, he did. He
There you
did.
Yeah,
go.
before
Yeah.
Bron.
NBA champion right there. Very solid uh, uh, player, NBA player,
Mm-hmm.
solid college player too. Um, huge IQ. Who else wore six? That's all I can think of the top of my head.
That's
LeBron,
good
Mario
though.
Chalmers,
That's a
Eddie
good
Jones.
list.
Hmm?
Tebow, how about you?
Okay. Uh, they took some of my list. I had LeBron James, Bill Russell, Kristaps Porzingis. Y'all took them. So I have DeAndre Jordan. He wore number 6 for
Mm-hmm.
the Clippers. Uh, Avery Johnson wore number 6 for the
Yeah,
Spurs.
Spurs.
that boy with country.
Jay Cutler. Yeah, that's on my back. Jay Cutler wore number 6 for
Mm-hmm.
the Bears. I don't think he wore for the Broncos. Uh, Javi, for my soccer fans, he wore number 6 for
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona. And then I got two more. Ryan Howard for the Philadelphia Phillies and
Okay.
Snipes boy Baker Mayfield,
Ah,
Tom Brady's successor.
okay. Took my guy. All right, so
I had to throw that one
let me
in.
try to go for some odd people. The first one, people probably didn't notice. Ben Wallace actually wore number 6 when he came back to the Detroit Pistons
Mhm.
for his second stint from 2010, 2012. He wore number 6. Julio Jones wore number 6 for my Bucks last year.
Oh yeah.
Josh Norman wore number 6 when he came back to the Carolina Panthers in the 2022 season. Le'Veon Bell wore number 6 with the Bucks. I know college football players that remember Pat White when he played for the Miami Dolphins, wore number 6. Terrell Pryor wore number 6 with the Oakland Raiders. And one more, Adam Morrison wore number 6 with the LA Lakers. And one more, actually. Bonzi Wells wore number 6 as well.
Hmm.
That's a
Mm,
hell of a list.
Yeah, I
it
got
is.
20 people on this list. So I got 20. All
Hmm.
right. All right, man. So let's go ahead right into this NFC West conversation. It is only right. Last year, one of the NFC West teams made it to the NFC Championship. As we all know, quarterback was a main issue, but outside of that, the offense was rated number 5 in the league last year. Defense was rated number 1, and they have gotten better. They lost in the NFC Championship, as I mentioned. They lost their defensive coordinator. He is now the head coach for the Texans. Um, like, who is going to be their starting quarterback next year? Like, a Hargrave who is coming on a defensive line that is already top notch, one of the best in the league right now. Just in a full season with CMC back there at running back. But before I start talking any more shit, let me give Sonny 1 minute uninterrupted for him to talk his shit about his San Francisco
I
49ers. Tebow, do
do.
you have the timer
You can
ready?
start. Hold on. Now.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Let's count them, okay? Like you said, we're
Okay.
going to have a full year of Christian McCaffrey and Debo. Come on now. We added two tight ends. We have the best now, as far as offensively, we have the best roster. We don't have any weak spots now. We have one of the best route runners in Brandon Ayuk. I just don't see how we lose. I hate to talk about the past, but if Brock Purdy does not get hurt, we win that Super Bowl. So now it's between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Me, you go with the man who wins 8 straight games, who takes you to the NFC Championship. He can run, he can play under the snap. And I like Trey. But guess what? We've seen what Brock can do. You got to go with the momentum. And now with the a full healthy team, I don't see anyone in the NFC West beating us. Definitely not anybody in the NFC West. And I just don't see anybody in the NFC. I mean, We were top 5
One.
last year in offense. Now we're probably going to go to 1 or 2, and our defense is still stout.
Time out.
We have a favorable schedule this year,
Hey,
Time out.
yo.
Time
Hey,
out.
hey,
and
hey,
Hey, hey,
I don't
hey,
see anybody beat them.
time out.
hey,
Time out.
And that's just not opinion. I'm looking
Whoa.
at our players
Whoa.
hey.
offensively.
My man,
We don't
Sonny.
have any misses.
Hey, you can't ready to talk his shit. Can't ready to talk his shit.
Hey,
I will say, I will
Oh,
say,
Sonny
I see.
I will
I
came,
say,
was
see.
talking
He
his
I
talked
agree
about
with
shit.
what he
that.
He
said. I
came
don't
out like
disagree. I
he
don't
came out like he
disagree.
was Brian Dawkins out this joint.
Ah,
Mm.
right.
What's your thoughts?
I can't. I mean, again, the Niners, they got a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong, but we were beating them at halftime in the playoff game, and if Geno Smith doesn't go down and fumble, that took all the momentum out of that game, and now we got a defense, and we got Bobby Wagner coming back. Like it's gonna be a different problem. Like Clint Hurt, now we're adjusting to the 3-4. You know what I'm saying? Implementing the new system. Now we got the D line to go with that, and we got the
Does
secondary.
Geno,
Like we're gonna be
does
loaded,
Geno
and we're
take you
on
to the
both sides of
Super
the.
Bowl and win it for you? You didn't
He
say
can.
he's
He
sure.
can. Everybody was down Gino, and everybody you seen.
He can.
He said he. I said he can. He can. He can. He's in the same position as Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Brock Purdy. Like
No,
he
okay,
is.
okay.
He does the right things, and it's like showing that basically Gino can get us there because
Mhm.
he completes the passes. He takes what the defense gives you. And as long as he keeps doing that with the weapons that we have, and now our O line is going to be building. They were all young boys, so now you're coming in, and this O line, these tackles are getting their second year. They always improve. Offensive linemen always improve. So now you're looking at that
Hold on.
cohesion
Casey,
going in, and
hold
we
on,
got people that are
hold on.
competing. Like we came out of nowhere. Nobody expected us to go to the
I
playoffs last
want
year.
you. I want you to. I want you to save that from when we talk about the Seahawks, just because I know you're going to have a lot to
Is he?
say. But for the Niners,
Oh
do you have
yeah.
any questions for Sonny? I mean, obviously, for me, for the Niners, I mean, they are definitely one of the favorites, definitely. But I just got to see how it plays out because just like how last year, how you guys' season ended, injuries can play a factor, and it doesn't really matter who is playing quarterback, back there. I know Purdy. I know that he looked nice last year, but what if a Trey Lance is there? That opens up the offense even more if he can stay healthy. But
We're in a win-win
Niners for
situation.
sure is looking like one of the favorites, but I don't know, man.
As
Yeah,
long as
what's your thoughts, Tebow?
Trey becomes more efficient at throwing passes over 20 yards, he does have the arm. He needs to be a little bit more efficient. But like you said, Snipes, it opens up our offense. I mean, Purdy can run, but if injuries do play a factor, with Trey Lance, he can pretty much do it all as well. And then if you have him, Debo, and CMC, you don't know what play calling is coming at you.
They got. I don't disagree. I don't
Question:
disagree. The Seahawks
Is this
definitely Niners are
is
definitely
this
my favorites.
I mean,
I mean, is this a landing spot for D Hop? Is this a
I
potential
mean,
landing spot for D Hop when you?
Yes. Yes.
You
This is
should.
yes, you have to. Why not?
You want to win?
oh, if they get D
Mm.
Hop, then there'll be a problem. If they get D Hop, I mean, honestly, it's going to be real tough. It's going to be real tough if they get him. But I don't even see how the 49ers can afford him unless they're
Mm.
like they plan on cutting Trey Lance or something, or trading
I
him.
think
I
he'll
don't
take
see
a
how they
pay
can
cut. He'll
afford
take
D
a pay
Hop.
cut to
D
win.
Hop
He'll
wants
take
to
a
get
pay cut
paid.
to win. Though, I
He
think.
wants to get paid. But then at playing football, I don't know if you take a pay cut. You got to play. You got to think about it, man. They got a short period of time where
Yeah,
they can make as much money as possible. I don't see him taking a severe pay
I
cut of
mean not a
playing
severe,
for
not a
for the
severe pay
49ers for
cut,
like
but
$4
I
million.
mean he's made a good amount of money.
He's
He's been
made
in the
his
league
money.
what, like 9 years. He want to win a ring. He want a ring now. I
They He's still only 31 years old. D Hop is still only 31. I don't think you're taking a pay cut
Damn,
at 31 years old. If
31.
somebody offers you, let's say, 20 million, the other team
Yeah.
offers you 12, you're
I'm
gonna go play for 12 or you
I'm
gonna
gonna
play
if
go
for
I
play
if
for
I
20?
can get a
12
Even if
ring,
you
if
made
I got a
with
100
a
better
million.
chance to
chance
win
to
a
win
ring,
a
I would.
ring.
It's a chance, but it's always a chance. he can go pay for 20 and have a chance to win a ring. Let's say if the Jets find the money to pay for D Hop, wouldn't you go
Hell
play for the
no.
No,
Jets
they
for
have a
20?
lesser
They still got
chance.
a
They have a
chance
lesser
too.
chance. The
They
49ers have a
overrated to
better
me.
chance
They
to win
they
the
do
They
have a
division.
lesser
overrated to
They're
me.
chance,
one
but
game
it's
away if
still
their
but
quarterback don't get hurt.
but I'm just saying
That's
they're
true.
2 games away. They gotta
That's
still
true.
win. They still gotta beat the Eagles and then they gotta beat the Chiefs. So it's still that's like it's not a foregone conclusion.
I
Even if
I
they get
No.
there, if they're beating Patrick Mahomes and them
I play
boys.
for
So it's kind of like if Diop wants to go to a team, he can go to the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
I ain't mad at that either.
For real.
Mm.
I play for the Niners.
Yeah.
I play for
Yeah.
the Niners over the
That's what
Jets
really
Yeah.
makes
because
sense.
of the
Yeah.
media and the scrutiny that you get from playing in New York. He lives on the West Coast. He does not have to move. And he's been in the league like 31. 31 is not old, but it's damn sure not young for a wide receiver.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
That's true. That's why you got to maximize that money.
I would stay with the Niners, but he can go to
Yeah.
the
I
Chiefs as
get you.
well.
I get
But
you.
there's a reason why these teams are not picking him up as well. So yeah, and that's the thing is
Because he wants
They're
that
not
bread.
getting it though, so
he's not
I'm
getting it.
going to. I'm
So do
not
you?
getting the bread. I'm getting the ring.
So do you go for the for sure, or you go for
Odell.
the what I think would
Odell
actually
fucked
make
the money up.
But all right, but hear me out for a quick second. If you are in D Hop's situation, right? You already know OTAs, all that camp and all that stuff is going on. You're not tripping off not being signed right now because at the end of the day, you can
Yeah.
wait for someone to get injured and then they got to come through and then meet your asking price because you want to most of the time these veterans they want to miss that training camp. They don't want to be there for the training camp. They want to that actually adds
Mhm.
time back to their bodies not having to go through the training camp situation. So you already gonna know what you're gonna do. He knows how to run routes. You already know D Hop is the best in the game when it comes to that. And next to Cooper
Yep.
Cup, you know what I'm saying. But D Hop, he's still a dog. You know what I mean. So he can sit back and wait and just see how things shake out.
Moving on, let's get into the schedule. I think the win over under for their win schedule was 11.5. So I'm gonna read off the schedule real quick, and then y'all, based off the schedule, y'all can tell me if you think they're gonna win over 11.5 or under 11.5. All right. So week 1 at Pittsburgh. Week 2 at LA Rams. Week 3 you come back home for the New York Giants. Divisional game in Arizona versus the next game versus the Dallas Cowboys. Then you go to Cleveland. Next game is at Minnesota. After that, you go back home versus the Bengals. You have a week 9 bye. Week 10, you go to Jacksonville. Week 10, play Buccaneers. I mean, week 11, the Buccaneers come to San Francisco. Week 12, we got a divisional game versus Seattle. Week 13, you go at Philly. Week 14, that's another divisional game versus Seattle. 15, another divisional game versus Arizona at Arizona.
They're gonna split the season series.
Week 16, that's a Monday night game at Baltimore versus Baltimore. I'm sorry. Baltimore is at San Francisco. After that, y'all got the Washington Commanders at Washington. And then week 18, you close it out with the divisional game versus the LA Rams. So based
So
on that, what you guys think?
this is the easy over for me.
Okay.
We
Take
honestly
it over.
we don't have a great schedule, so I'm not even
Mm.
attesting this to how great my team is. We honestly just have a very easy schedule. So, LA for us is dog food. The Cardinals. So
Yeah.
we're going to run it through the NFC West. Okay, so that's 6 games already. Okay, our tests are going to be Philly, Minnesota, Cincinnati, and the Jets. I can see I can see those being tough games because of the defense prowess that those teams have. But the rest of those, everybody else is dog food.
What you got, Casey?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
what you got? I want your
can I
over
speak
under
on this
too. I
Mm.
one?
want your over under too.
Man,
Yeah,
Sonny,
go ahead, go ahead.
Sonny, y'all got 11-6 season.
Which is not a bad
Y'all gonna have
season.
11-6 season, man. You gonna have 11. I know Vegas got a spot on. You're gonna be 11 and
Hey,
6.
I agree.
11-6, spot on. I'm looking right at this schedule right now. let's say you win the first 4 games, easy dog food, like you said. Then you got Dallas.
We
So
don't
I'm
lose to
thinking that could be a
Dallas.
trip up where y'all lose to Dallas. Just saying. Okay, let's just say let's say you win that
That's
game. Then you got Minnesota and Cincinnati back to back. You could potentially
I
lose both of
agree.
those games.
I mentioned those
That's
two
very
teams.
potential easy that game. Then you come back, you beat Jacksonville. Yep, you beat Jacksonville. You beat Tampa. You're losing. You're splitting against Seattle. You're not. It's going to be
No.
a split.
Okay,
Seattle's going to win one of
congratulations.
those 2 games. It's just how it works in that division.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
All right. So that's already 3 losses. Then you got Philly. I don't think y'all beating Philly. So that's 4. And I think you're underestimating Baltimore. I think you're underestimating Baltimore big time. I just think you're underestimating. So I think that's 5 right there. And after the last 3 games, that gauntlet between the Vegas, Denver, and the Chargers. Oh no, actually, you know what? That's not even a gauntlet. My bad. I'm looking at preseason right there. So yeah, after the last 2 games, you guys could wash those 2 up. So 1, 2, 3. That's 3 losses, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, I have it 6 games, man. I got you losing that Dallas game and losing the 1-2, the Minnesota Cincinnati situation, and I think Seattle's gonna beat y'all
So
at least
Casey,
once. I think
I just
we
want to let you
gonna
know
beat y'all
the
at least
years
once.
of us splitting or you guys beating the shit out of us, those years are over, okay? Because Seattle has definitely had our number over the past 8 years. We're winning both of those games against you guys. So Minnesota and Cincinnati
Exactly. When does that happen
this
though? When does that ever happen?
this
When
year.
does that ever happen though? That y'all do that?
So so
Nah, man. I think you're
Minnesota
I
delusional on that
love
one.
it.
Minnesota and
I love
Cincinnati,
it.
we can lose. That doesn't mean that we do lose. Minnesota, we can definitely beat. Cincinnati, I'm scared of, and Philly, I'm scared of. But Minnesota, they don't have the offensive power, the firepower to keep up with us. Their defense is very good, though.
What about Baltimore though?
I'm not scared of no
What about
fucking
Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been.
That's a good matchup
No.
right there.
I think Baltimore gave y'all some burn. I say 11 games because y'all won 13 games last year, and because y'all like they got more tape on Brock, and you don't know how healthy Trey Lance going. That's the only reason why. That's 2 games. That's the
Exactly.
reason why I have
Exactly.
y'all going. I
More
have y'all
tape.
going 11-6. I do
Fit.
have y'all going 11 and
The
6.
reason we win more games than 11 because we're healthier than last year. We've added more players and we have a better schedule. I don't see how we go down.
Hmm? Because you don't know if Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy is he gonna play week 1 because the elbow injury is tough.
All right.
That's tough. Then Trey
Yeah.
Lance, he got to be 100% too. And I
Very.
don't trust Sam Darnold at all.
Oh hell no,
So
hell no.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying 11. Let's move on to Casey. Casey, now it's time for you to talk your shit, man. We're gonna give you all the floor. I'm gonna read down the list and I'm gonna give you
Oh
a minute to
man.
talk your shit. Go ahead. Just to keep for some context, Seahawks went 9-8 last year after trading Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. The offense was ranked 13th. Their defense was ranked 26th. So Casey, before just keep these questions in context with how you answer. You can add them on. You know what I mean? How good do you think Geno Smith can be this year, and how good do you think Jackson Smith and Jigba can be? I want your thoughts on Jamal Adams and how you think Bobby Wagner impacts your defense this year. All right, let me give you a minute. Let me 1 second. Hold on. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the clock.
Oh man.
Go.
Okay, I'm getting this for a short time. All right, let's go. Let's
You don't
go.
got all of it.
All
Not
right, I
all of
got to
it. Not
run
all
through
of it. Go
that
ahead.
stuff. So first off, starting off with first off, starting off, Gino. I think Gino's going to be really good coming back in another year of live game playing in his system. You know, the guys always get better in their second year, and Gino just shown that he's consistent. He's not turning the ball over as much as he was in all his previous stops, and he's making those right play calls and those right feeds. And now we got another offensive weapon to add on to that with Jackson Smith. So he's going to be real good, especially in the slot. I think we can move him around and use him like how the Rams use Cooper Kupp. And I think that's going to be real. He's going to be a matchup nightmare for linebackers, safeties, and everything. So you're going to have to definitely be in dime most of the game if you want to stick with the Seattle because we got too much speed out there. And then going to defense. Defense, we're getting 2 All-Pros back on that defense. And then we also revamped our line of guys that know how to tackle. Bobby Wagner is going to see that these guys, these young boys, are in the right position to make plays and tackle people. We had a big time missing a bunch of tackles last year, and that was our biggest miscue. And now we got in the 3-4. We actually have the personnel for a 3-4 and coming off the edges. And a lot of these young boys, rookies at corner. I got a lot of faith in our corners, man. Our corners, our safeties, man. It's gonna be a problem. And Julian Love, he's a sleeper. He's a sleeper right now. He's a sleeper. He can come down into the box.
Go ahead.
He's
All
at the
right, go
secondary.
ahead. Well, keep going, man. Keep going. Because I know that was a lot in a little bit of time, though.
Oh yeah, man. And I mean, we got the weapons and the players now that we can cover Debo Smith, Devin Weatherspoon. You got Tariq Woolen. Like we got those players that are going to be able to stay with them. We got the personnel. Bobby Wagner can do some things. He's going to put guys in a position. You got to understand, Bobby Wagner. Everybody thought he was washed and he was done, and he just had another Pro Bowl season and All Pro season, most importantly. So you put that guy back into being the captain of the defense. That's basically like getting y'all back Patrick Willis. You know what I mean? He's that type of difference maker for defense. And I think playing in Clint's system, another year we're gonna be that much better. Even that defensive line, like we made sure we addressed the defensive line, and that was one of our biggest things. We had no pass rush, so Prudy, everybody had so much time to just do anything they wanted to do, pick us apart. So getting back Jared Reed, that was big too. Back in the middle, and having those pass rushes, man. We're just gonna keep sending them at.
What you think about
different blitz coverages? So
what you think
man,
about that,
I'm excited,
Sonny?
man.
I know you want to respond, man. I know you want to get something off.
Unlike Casey, I can give credit when credit is due. Okay, I think Bobby Wagner is one of the best players out there. I think he definitely can add mentorship, tutelage, and like sit those young boys down. I love Bobby Wagner. I hate to say it. With Seattle, the only thing that I will say is um, they definitely got some boosts in their defensive line. I think Gino honestly just had a great year. I think he had a great year, and I don't know if he can duplicate that because he did have a great year last year. But if I'm going off now, his situation is totally different. In football, you need tools around you. I don't care how good you are. If you don't have anybody to throw to or hand the ball off to, you could be Joe Montana. It's not going to happen. But I will say, I'm just going off the history of Gino's career. He has done a lot better with not turning over the ball, fumbles, throwing interceptions. But I just don't see him as the guy to get it done. And I'm always rooting for a black quarterback because I do like Gino, but I just don't think that he's good enough. And that's flat out. I just don't think that he's good enough to take that team into a deep playoff run this year.
Okay. Snipes?
Looking at this Seahawks squad just all together, Casey pretty much hit it right on the money. That fucking DBs, like that whole collection of DBs that they have right now, it's looking pretty good, and they all are young. Not to say, Jamal Adams is coming back. Yeah, he is like the next coming of Roy Williams with the Cowboys after you hit a pump fake. He's terrible when it comes down to pass pass protection, but I feel like the Seahawks is a sleeper team. I know, you may look at them and say Gino just has to get the ball to the right places. They need to run the ball, and I feel like this could be a sleeper team that could actually make some noise in the NFC. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm saying a team that could sneak a team in the wild card round and make it to the second round of the playoffs and probably somehow sneak their way to NFC Championship. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm saying like I can see this with this Seahawks team because they are starting to build a team around because of what the 49ers have in that division as well. But this is definitely a team that I'm not sleeping on going into the season.
They
Is
getting
that the
something. They getting
goal?
something in the ring.
Is that the goal for a team to sneak into the playoff to maybe get to the second round?
Hey, I will say, as a Commanders fan,
I mean,
you get there as you can take it, man.
Hey, I
You
mean,
can get there, you can get there. You don't know what happened if you get in there. You just gotta get into the club. You don't know what happened after that.
Look at the Heat. You're right. Look at the Heat.
Yeah.
I think. I think
That's
we
true.
created a lot. I think the Seahawks, even when in these last two drafts, we really hit a
Mm-hmm.
lot of sleepers and a lot of good players. And like I said, Julian Love, he's basically what makes kind of Jamal Adams in a way expendable because Jamal Adams can turn into like a hybrid linebacker for us that we're just using him to rush the passer and not
Yeah.
really so much using him for coverage because that Julian Love is more of a coverage safety and you put him with Quadre Diggs, and that's two coverage safeties, and you can switch up your packages now based off of our secondary and say, okay, you know what? This is a pass-heavy team. We're gonna go ahead and have Julian Love, Adams. You're gonna be like a hybrid linebacker safety where we're gonna have you down, and you're gonna be just rushing into that 3-4 kind of system. And I think that's some situations like that he can be really effective. And just knowing how to utilize him in those spots against those teams and that personnel, I think that's what's going to be the biggest thing is being able to have that talent that you can just pull from and just plug and play different guys and really, scheme, from the teams like the 49ers that create a lot of matchup problems by having C-Mac go out wide and different stuff like that. You got to have those. You got to have the corners. And that's why I think we switched it up when everyone thought we were going to get Jalen Carter and went with Devin Weatherspoon because he's a dog, man. I was looking at him hit, and he can hit. He can hit and he can tackle. And that's one of the biggest things that you need to be able to do. That separates you from a corner and a corner standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Is when wide receivers
So
like, yo, he gonna lay me out. So
so you
reminds me
saying
a
the
lot of Rod
Seahawks
Woodson.
potential fantasy pick up defense to pick up this year?
Mm.
Should we get that defense this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He
Okay,
reminds you of
I
Rod
want
Oh
to know
yeah,
Woodson
what
when
you
that's
he
a
was
good
with
think.
the
question.
Niners.
That's a good question.
Huh?
He reminds you of Rod Woodson when he was with the Niners.
Hey,
That's funny. That's funny.
Hey, Sonny
That's
hey,
funny.
funny as shit.
let's let's get
That's
into.
funny.
I think Vegas got their win over under eight. I'm sorry. Vegas has their win totals over under 8.5. So I'm gonna go down the list just like the last time. Go down the list, and then you guys can tell me if you guys think they're gonna win over or under. Casey, we'll
Okay.
start with you, obviously first since that's your team. But let me go through this list real quick. Week 1, you
I
start
think.
off. You start off versus the Rams. Week 2, you go to Detroit. Week 3, you're back at home versus Carolina. Week 4, you go to the New York Giants. Week 5, that's when you get your bye week. Week 6, you go off to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Week 7, you come back home for the divisional game versus Arizona. Week 8, you play the Cleveland Browns. Week 9, you go to Baltimore. Week 10, you play the Washington Commanders. Week 11, you go to LA for a divisional game versus the Rams. Week 12, Thursday night game, divisional game versus the San Francisco 49ers. Week 13, Thursday night game again versus the Dallas Cowboys. Week 14, you go to San Francisco for the divisional game. Week 15 versus Philly. Week 16, you go to Tennessee. Week 17, you play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And week 18, you close it out on the road versus the Arizona Cardinals.
All right. I'm gonna be honest. I see a 10-7 season.
That's a little sneaky schedule.
That is.
Yeah, it is. I think
Yeah,
we're at a 10-7. It
that's what
is a
I was.
tough schedule. It is a
That's what
tough
I got
schedule.
too.
10 and
Yeah,
7.
I got us
Okay.
in a 10-7.
Okay. I got y'all at 9. I'll take the over.
That
Definitely
freaking
9.
49ers.
I'll take the over
But
too. I'm
look,
thinking 9-8.
there's a time where they play. There's a time where they play the Niners, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles. Damn,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet
that
right
shit
there.
ain't sweet.
At best, I'm hoping for us to go 500 in that mix, and I'll be happy.
I
I'll
like the
be
nine
happy
and
with
eight.
500.
I like that over.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I'll
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
that.
I can see
Okay.
that too.
I mean, I just
I can
think
see
with
that too.
that much more talent that we got this year, that
Yeah.
we should definitely finish at least a game better
Yeah. I agree with that.
with more
I can see
talent.
that.
You know what I mean?
I
With
definitely have
everybody
y'all
else
winning over 8
that we
games. I
got.
definitely have y'all
Yeah.
winning over 8.
Yeah.
Casey, do you guys beat the Titans?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with that. Okay, all right. So now that we got the big feud out the way, we could be cool. We discuss the Rams and Cardinals, the lesser part of the division. Let cooler heads prevail. Let's go into the Rams. They came last year was a rough year from them from week one. Defending Super Bowl champions. Everybody thought they finally got that quarterback, that team that they could build around, but they had a 5-12 year. Obviously, Matthew Stafford went down. Their offense ranked 32nd, bottom last in the NFL. Defense ranked 19. Um, Matthew Stafford, I know he had his surgery this offseason, so hopefully he'll have a better season. What do you guys think about them? You guys think they're rebuilding this year? What do you guys think about Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp? You think both of them can have a bounce back year this year? What you guys thoughts on the Rams this year?
I don't want them to have a bounce back year, but I definitely think they're right back in the mix.
I don't think that they're going to be back in rebuild mode, but like they lost some key pieces on that defense, like Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd's gone now too, so they're gonna have to rely on Aaron Donald a lot more. But I mean, we'll see how they do. I think they could do better this year. Obviously, the offense can't be worse than 32nd dead last. So obviously, I think they can bounce back, but the defense is definitely going to fall off.
Is Cooper Cup going to be ready for the beginning of the season?
I think so. I haven't heard any reports that saying he wasn't going to be.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I feel
tough,
like Sean McVay is one of. I feel like he's overrated as a coach.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that too because he can do that with the big names players. Do it with some lesser names and keep them together. He gave all those picks away, so you're gonna have to.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. He
Fuck
just
those
won
picks.
an
Fuck those
NFL
picks.
Super Bowl. It's kind of hard to say that he's overrated.
Yeah, I don't think he overrated. I just think he was getting a little bit too much. I mean, as a Commanders fan, I would keep him, but
I mean, look at it this way.
nah. Go ahead. I'm done.
I mean, if you kind of look at it this way, in order for them to win that Super Bowl, they had to grab as much big name players as much as possible with a very minimum of an in-house homegrown person outside of Cooper Cup. And even when you look at that roster now, like what homegrown player that you can think about on that squad right now who could actually make him look like that offensive guru that he is supposed to be? I mean, who is that person? And then the defense
Cam
outside of
Akers.
Aaron Donald, I can't even name three people on that squad right now.
Name one. Taylor
Cam
Rapp is
Akers.
the one. I'm not so on Cam Akers.
Hopefully, because last year they wanted, yeah, like they wanted to trade him last year. Like they sat him out and then they brought him back. But I mean, who knows? I mean, that probably might be that person, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you
So
got to have
I got
pieces.
them definitely with the under though. Or whatever Vegas said. I haven't even looked at it. I got it with the under.
yeah,
It
Vegas has them at 7.5. I'll take the under. I'll take it. I'll take the under. I'll take 7.
I'll take the under too.
I'm gonna
I
go
don't
over.
even. I don't even. I'll read the schedule off, but that is not going to change in my mind, in my opinion. But all right, so week 1 they start off at Seattle. Week 2 they play the 49ers. Week 3 they play the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 4 Indianapolis Colts. Week 5 they play the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 6 Arizona Cardinals. Week 7 Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 8 Dallas Cowboys. Week 9 Green Bay Packers. Week 10 they got their bye. Week 11 they play Seattle. Week 12 they play Arizona. Week 13 they play Cleveland. Week 14 Baltimore. Week 15 the Commanders. Week 16 New Orleans. Week 17 the Giants, and then week 18 they close it out versus the 49ers. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on that. The first 6 of their games, they play 4 teams from the playoffs last year.
I got the under.
4 playoff teams from last year, and 2
Yeah,
of them went to the NFC Conference Championship game.
I'm going to retract. I'm going to take the under as well. I didn't know the schedule. I'm strictly
Yeah,
going
nah,
off
yeah.
the page. I didn't know that schedule. Their first 10 games, they might win 3. Might.
Yeah, they might
Yeah.
be. That'd be lucky.
Yeah.
That'd be a
And I
lucky.
really
That'd be a
counted
Super
2
Bowl if we
wins.
win 3.
I really counted 2 wins when you ran off those first 10 teams. I counted 2 wins.
Yeah, no,
If they win, it's going
they
to
gonna
be
have another
those
long season.
last 5 games they play. I think you were running off. They play the Commanders, the Saints,
Oh,
the
The
Giants.
San
They ain't beating
Francisco,
the
yeah.
Commanders now.
San
Hold up, they ain't
Francisco.
beating the Commanders now. They ain't doing that now. Hold up
Yeah.
now.
He said the last 5 teams in San Francisco, the last game of the season, I think they'll win that one too.
Talk your shit, Tebow.
Yeah,
Talk your
he ain't
shit,
doing that.
Tebow. Talk your
I
shit,
wasn't gonna do
Tebow.
that, man. Commanders got this division this year. I can see it. We gonna give them some fight this year. But it ain't
Com-
about us this episode. It ain't about us. It ain't
the
about us. It
Commanders
ain't about
what?
us.
Ooh.
It ain't. I said we're gonna give y'all some run this season. I'm not saying we're gonna sweep you. I'm not saying, but it's not about us. You feel me? It's about Saturday. So I don't want no smoke, but it's Sunday. You know, it's not even football
Okay.
season yet. So you know. We'll get the smoke later. I don't know what week we play y'all.
Okay. Because I got y'all
We
finishing
next
last in
week.
that division.
Nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We can't do that. Last is crazy.
Ooh.
Last is
I
crazy.
don't see
But
that.
it's not,
I
like I
don't see
said, it's
that.
not about us, man.
We'll
Let's move on.
Too
we'll
soon, too
Let's
soon,
move
too
on
reconvene.
to the
soon, too soon,
Cardinals.
too soon,
We'll
too soon, too
reconvene.
soon.
Hey, we will. We'll bring you back on as like a special guest on that episode. Let's get into the bottom of the division. Nobody has this team, I doubt, doing anything this year. Arizona Cardinals. Last year they were 4-13. They ranked on offense and defense in 2021. Their offense was 22nd, and their defense ranked 23rd. They fired their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. They signed Jonathan Gannon. I think he's from the Eagles. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. D Hop's gone, as we just spoke about earlier. Kyler Murray tore his
Yeah.
ACL
Eagles. Yeah.
towards the end of
Eagles.
last season, so
Eagles.
they don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Yeah.
What's next for them? What do you guys think is next for them? How do y'all think they're going to do this year?
I think they might win
Yeah.
3 games.
I don't even need to
They're
hear the
not
schedule.
covering the spread.
I don't
I
even need
know
to hear
that.
the
Yeah,
schedule.
no.
2 games.
Yeah, no. I'll say this: their over under is 5.5. I'm taking the under. I'll take a 5. I can see them winning
Under.
5 top.
Under.
I'll take the under on that. So we run down the
Take the
schedule.
under for sure.
Do we even
Under.
run down the schedule? Do we week 1 they played my
You don't have
Commanders. That's
to.
an L right there. I'll tell
They
you
only have a
right there. That's only
quarterback.
one right there. They don't.
They don't have a
Let's just do
quarterback.
it.
They don't have
Yeah.
Let's just do
But
it. Let's
I'm
just do it.
gonna run down the
Let's just
schedule. I'm
do
gonna
it.
run down the schedule. So week 1, they play the Washington Commanders. Week 2, they play the New York Giants. Week 3, they play the Dallas Cowboys. Week 4, they play San Francisco 49ers. Week 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Week 6, LA Rams. Week 7, Seattle. Week 8, Baltimore. Week 9, Cleveland. Week 10, Atlanta. Week 11, Houston. Week 12, Rams. Week 13, Pittsburgh. And they don't get their bye week until week 14. So that's a disadvantage. Week 15, they play San Francisco. Week 16, they play
Oh
Chicago.
wow.
Week 17, they play Philly. And week 18, they play Seattle. They might win 2 games. They might go 0-16.
They
All
they win
16.
two. They win 2 games, and both of those games are versus Seattle.
Okay.
Hey, we got a peaceful in here. Sonny just trying to get wild, right?
Hey, Sonny funny as fuck,
Hey,
dog.
we try to keep it cordial in here, man. We still got 2 months.
Oh man. Hey, Sonny, man, where are you coming from? You calling from Cali?
No,
Where you calling from?
I'm right here in Glenarm, Maryland.
Oh, you in Glen Arden. All right, you right down the street then. You right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look you up in these 49ers business. The much trash you talking about these boys.
So, man.
Hold on, when was the last time y'all won a Super Bowl?
The 90s. We won last 94? No, not
Yeah, 94, I believe.
94.
Yeah, 94.
Damn. So y'all
Cowboys
about to have your
195.
30-year
Skins
anniversary.
193.
You about to have your 30-year anniversary, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
shit.
don't know how it feels to win a Super Bowl as being an adult.
No, I
Oh,
do not.
shit.
It's an amazing feeling. It's an elating feeling. It kind of never leaves your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many guys?
You actually can remember it. You can remember it. You know what I mean? You actually have like memories of it.
Oh no, I
Versus like
do.
I don't think you had any memories. I don't think you have memories of it in '94.
Oh no, we had a huge parade out in Cali. My father is a 49ers fan. So we went out there. No, I got the jackets, I got pictures of everything.
He was in
Oh,
the
I
field.
damn.
Say
know,
he
but
was
I'm
in the
saying you
field.
was a small child of the big wheel.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hard to win in the NFL, and it's hard to win 5 NFL Super Bowls. I know a lot of teams cannot relate to winning 5 Super Bowls, so it's hard.
Okay. We gotta
I
save
love
it
it.
for the season,
I
man. We gotta
love
save
it.
it for
I
the
love it.
season,
I
Yeah,
love
we
man.
it.
haven't been in existence for that amount of time for that to be the case. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
I don't know about the modern era. San Francisco always
Hey,
looks good until it comes down to the big game.
Mhm.
hey,
Ah,
I love
I
it.
love it. I
I love it,
love
man.
it.
This what it is,
They
man.
played
This
for the
what
most
the
NFC
episode
champ.
needs to be. This what the episode
San
needs to be.
Francisco's
The
always playing
Division
for NFC
rivals going
championship.
at it, man.
Yeah, they always playing for NFC championship, but never making it. I think what y'all made one. How many Super Bowls y'all made in the last 20 years? One.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one. That was a good
No,
one
no, no.
too.
No.
Two, two, two,
Chiefs to
No,
two,
two, two,
Baltimore.
two, two,
Chiefs,
two, two, two,
Baltimore.
two,
two.
two, two,
Division two.
two.
And honestly,
It was two.
let's keep it a buck. Both Super Bowls, horrible play calling. We're not going to talk about that Baltimore fucking Super Bowl. Come on now. Fucking run the fucking. I'm not going to even talk about that. But we blew both of those. And honestly, that wasn't our team. That's coaching.
Mm.
Yeah,
All
no, I
right,
get it. But I
man.
mean, again, I think the 49ers will make it again to the playoffs. And they'll do what they do every year, and they'll fumble it come NFC, championship time. So whether that's playing us or playing the Eagles, they're gonna fumble that.
Two good teams, though. One thing, like I said, I I have to hate Seattle because of what you guys have done to us on the past 8 years. But I always like Russell. I feel like you always guys had a solid organization. The Legion of Boom is one of the best
Boom.
defenses.
Yeah.
I put them up there with us when we had Patrick Willis and Navarro. I put them up there with the Steel Curtain. It's a hard city to win it. No matter how terrible you guys are, nobody wants to go up there and play you guys at home.
Yeah, yeah. It's and I mean, again, I feel like we revamped it. I feel like now everybody's gonna see what the Seahawks have been doing these last 2 drafts. We got another great draft class. Address the offensive line, address the defense. So it's gonna be interesting because now I think we have the talent to like be in a conversation, at least be in a conversation with San Francisco, and give them some comp. Is having the talent to pull from. So
I think you guys
the
are
talent
already
is there now.
I think you guys are already in a conversation with us. Honestly, like I said,
Oh yeah,
what you guys, the winning percentage of the past decade that you guys have had, I think you're already in the conversation because until the debacle of Arizona, I always said the NFC West is one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest division to win games in.
right. Oh, absolutely. I felt the same way too. But yeah, Arizona's gonna have to definitely pick it up, and who knows? I mean, maybe they can, surprise some people. If Kyler Murray can come back, maybe they can surprise some people. Maybe,
There's no
maybe.
point of
I
him
mean,
coming
I'm
back
not,
this year, though.
because that's what everybody said last year about Seattle. They were like, they rebuilding. Yeah, it is. There's a big point because they could cut them and get off a lot of that money.
Mm.
And honestly, I don't think Kyler's a good fit for Arizona. I don't think he's the leader. I don't think the players respect him in Arizona. I think they're going to have to make a decision very soon.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, this would be the year. Caleb Williams coming out, so they're gonna be in the Caleb Williams market, and they're not gonna pass on Caleb. They're not passing on
Think he's
Caleb if
number
he's there for the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
They got the number 1 pick. They're gonna draft Caleb,
Mhm.
so they're gonna figure out how to trade Colin and do that. So
Mhm.
yeah, man. But
Good conversation, man.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
man.
gonna
good.
Well,
This is a good playoff talk, man.
yeah.
Snipes.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I really do appreciate you guys for coming on the podcast. This right here is definitely was a fun podcast. As we know, the season is only like 9 weeks away. And of course, you know, if you guys would like, we would love to have you guys back on as well, middle of the season, if that is possible, so we can, you know, play some of these clips and go back to how we actually feel about our squad at in the mid-season form. So we will definitely see. This is episode 106, Sports State of Mind. Yeah, I am your host, Snipes KB. We got Sonny over there. We got Tebow, and we also got Casey right here as well, representing this the Seattle Seahawks. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. You guys are always welcome to come on the podcast. Do you guys have anything to say before we leave?
We need to do a live podcast when Seattle plays San Fran. We need the popcorn.
Oh
we need
man, I would love that. Hey, I would love that. I would love that, man. Pull it up. Hey, Sonny, I will pull it up, man. You get it. Yeah. I'll add one more person and we're gonna put it up. You know what I mean? So we can get on this Seattle San Fran thing.
Man,
with that
it's
one.
always love over here, man. Always love over here.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. That'll definitely be good.
All right, so this is. All right, so this is Sports State of Mind, episode 106. Snipes KB, Tebow, we are out.
Wearing my love, can't do you no wrong.